Hello everyone, this is Concho from Concho Sewing, and in this video tutorial I'll be showing you how to make a roll-up bag. This is a soft luggage bag made out of PVC canvas. It's very durable, it's water resistant, it can be made to be waterproof. It can be used for outdoor activities, enduro biking, working and whatnot, to keep your stuff safe and waterproof. Okay, so we have a canvas that's 90 centimeters by 70. I measured it in half. What I measured next is 40 centimeters from the bottom here to here, which is about its half size. So I've measured 10 centimeters, then 20 centimeters, then 10 again. So I did this 3 times. What's really important about this will be cylinder. So when you fold it around, this will be middle point, this will be its quarter point here, and another quarter here. The fourth quarter will be the seam, like so. So when these two sides are sewn together, this will represent one side, 1/4. This half here will be another quarter here, and another quarter here. So what I did is by the way, measuring this up front is very important later. Okay, so I measured half here, so this is 45 centimeters. Then we have a 22.5 centimeters here, and another 22.5 centimeters here from the middle point. Okay, so these 3 points will be for handles. We'll make a handle out of the webbing. And I'm planning on doing another. I'll do another tape here for strapping purposes. This is what I was talking about. So we have a part of canvas which is 70 centimeters in height, 19 centimeters in length, and we have a middle point which is 45 centimeters, and I divided it in 4 halves. Okay, so this 40 centimeter mark is the middle point, which will be, you're rolling down this part of the bag. So you have 40 centimeters, 30 and 10. Okay, so what I'm doing is this line here will be for one handle, this line will be for another handle, and this one is for the third handle. So when you fold everything up like a cylinder, you should get this. It should look like this. So we have one handle here, another one here, and third here. Strap around here, and another 2 straps here. So we have three handles, this red part here, and 2 straps here, and another one that goes around the top side where the buckles are going to be. Since we need 3 handles, we'll cut 3 measurements. We'll do this with 2.5 centimeters webbing as well to reinforce the handle. Okay, now let's start sewing. But first we need to place 5 centimeter mark on both sides, here and here. This is the place where this handle will be sewn onto the back. So I'll mark 5 centimeters here. Already marked it. Okay, and the third one. This is a bit tedious, but it's very important to have a quality handle. Okay, now to create a webbing for this particular part, we need to mark the sections. Since this is a 30 centimeters length, we'll divide this into 6 sections by 5 centimeters. So I'll mark 5 centimeters 5 by 5. We'll copy that onto the other part. Alright, next thing what we need to do is take the 2.5 centimeters webbing and add a little part here like so, fold this like this, place it here and decide how much of arc we want this to be. So I'm thinking about, so this would be okay measure for this. Okay, now let's measure this. That's 7 centimeters. Okay, so we'll take this tape and we'll mark 7 centimeters 6 times for this one particular webbing. To make it easy, I'll mark 7 centimeters here so I don't hold the ruler all the time. Okay, we'll take a white marker. I'm using soap, if you're wondering. White soap is great for this and it smells nice. So 7 centimeters 6 times for one webbing. Two, 4, 6. All right. Now I'll leave this much for the folding part. What I'm going to do now is cut 2 more of these. And I'll go ahead and mark those as well. Alright, now that we got that marked, it's time to sew. Okay, so now fold this, place it in the middle, and give it a 3 stitches. Now, since we have a 5 centimeter line here and 7 centimeter line here, you'll just move this a bit, and now we have an arc, like so. repeat this process.
Alright, so this is what we got. Pretty interesting stuff. You can do lots of things with this stuff. You can be creative. It's good for carabiners or other stuff, or if you want to strap in your roll-up bag to something, you can firm it up through these arcs. Alright, let's finish other two. Okay, so we finished our handles and our straps. Now it's time to sew this onto the canvas. Okay, now since we have our marks, we just place the handle and do a sort of a box shape stitch. By the way, everything you decide to sew onto the canvas, onto the bag, you need to do it before you close the main seam. After that it's going to be pretty difficult to sew anything. Alright, now this is going to be tricky to maneuver because we have a big part of canvas in front of us. So I'm just gonna try and fold this as much as I can. When you start sewing this, just go slowly because you might break your needle. This is the most difficult and tedious part because maneuvering this big part of the canvas is tricky. Requires a lot of space. But we'll move on. We'll soldier on.
Alright, this is what we got. 3 handles. Now it's time to sew these 2. Alright, time to sew these straps. We'll do a tensor stitch. Alright, now we'll do a regular stitch around once again, just to reinforce it. It might be an overkill, but let's make it heavy duty. Alright, now the next one. Alright, so this is what we got. Now it's time to sew the main seam and close the bag. Another thing we need to consider, we need to determine our bottom part. How we gonna measure the exact same amount, what diameter of a circle should it be for the bottom part of the cylinder. To do that, we use the simple math equation for a cylinder. We need the height of the cylinder. We divide the height with pi, and we should get the diameter of a circle. So the diameter of our cylinder, let's say it should be 90 centimeters. So we divide that by pi, that's 3/114, and we get the diameter of a circle, so that's 28.5 centimeters. Okay, so the diameter of our bottom part is a circle. We divided the circumference of the cylinder by pi, which is 19 centimeters divided by 3.14 gives us a 28.5 centimeters. That's our diameter of the bottom part of the circle. Now we need the radius of a circle. That's half the diameter, and that's 14/5 centimeters. Now what we want to do is take a ruler, take a divider tool, and find 14 centimeters by 5. Alright, now say hello to my cat. Hello. That's my little apprentice. Now we place a roller here and start to draw. Let's find a suitable place. Remember the starting point. Now we have our bottom part. What we need to determine is just a cross section. It will be easier for sewing. And that's it. Now you have your bottom part. Cut that thing out. There you go. Now we need to close the stitch, close the main stitch of the bag. This will be a bit difficult to manage and record it at the same time because it requires a lot of space, but I'll try my best. Okay, so maybe a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance here. We'll put a dense stitch and try to align these two parts of the canvas. Okay, now let's run again another stitch with the normal stitch. Now, that's great. We have sealed that main stitch. Now, here comes the most difficult part of this process. We need to do another seam to bend this part over to the one side and do another stitch here. And this requires that we roll this bag, roll it up like so, as we are sewing this, because we are pulling this inside the sewing foot in it, and it requires a lot of strength. So I'll try my best. Also, I'll try my best to manage this so you can see what I'm doing. Let's put the camera here. So I'm rolling the bag inside out on its right side, and as I'm sewing this stitch here, I'm pulling it inside the machine. I'll do a dense stitch. Now, as I am sewing, I'm rolling this bag like so, straightening up the part of the bag. So I'm sewing clear. I'm just sewing the seam here. I don't catch any other part of the bag, which would be bad. Okay, now for the bottom part. Place the bottom part inside, like so. Align the markings with the main stitch here, like so. Do a regular stitch. Now, as you roll the bag towards you, you're adjusting. You're making this adjustment by pulling the bottom part outwards to align it and try to make it as perfect as you can. Now the problem when you get to the end, you have this part of the bag sticking out. So you have two options: to tuck this little part inside like so, or to pull this part out and just sew here and cut out the rest of the excess part. But I'm going to tuck this out like so. Now let's do a dancer stitch. Okay, so we got this. Practically it's finished. We just need to do another webbing on the top and put a buckle, plastic buckle. Okay, now the finishing part is to determine the top side of the webbing and the buckle part. So we'll try and divide this exactly in half. So I'll put this pin here, or whatever his name is, another one here. Okay, next thing, I want to mark it exactly on the side here. Try and do your best. This is where the buckle is going to be, exactly here. So we have another one here. Alright, now we'll take webbing and we'll start from here. Mark the starting point of the webbing. Go around here. Now, when you get to this point here, you want to add maybe this much. So this is the place where buckle is going to be, like so. Catch that with this pin. Add here exactly as you like, or I'm going with this much, thumb's length, let's say. And when you get to the starting point, you want to add a bit more, because you're going to fold it and sew over it. So this is the exact amount we're going to need. Cut that. Get this off. Burn the ends. Okay, let's get the buckle. Alright, so I'm using a YKK buckle. It's high class and it's really good. Now let's start sewing this. We'll place our bag here, like so. Try not to catch the other side of the bag. So we are placing the webbing on the starting point. We'll do a stitch here. I'll rotate the bag and sew over this and try to be as accurate as you can. You're trying to align the webbing with the top side of the bag. Now we're closing in on the marker we put, and that's on the one side of the bag. We want to leave maybe 1 centimeter off that point. So place our finger here, sew exactly to the maybe 1.5 centimeters off the mark. Now when you get there, turn around the bag. And do a dense stitch.
do it 3 times. When you get to the bottom part, continue sewing back to the starting point. Okay, now take the buckle, take one part of it, it doesn't matter which part of it is, place this inside, and leave as much as you want here, as you're planning this to stick out. So I leave this much. Now what you want to do next is press it like so. This is your middle point here, and try and leave the same amount on the other side, 1.5 centimeters. Now continue sewing the top side. Now we're closing in on the second mark here. We'll do exact same thing. Leave 1.5 centimeters off of the mark. Use denser stitch. Do it 3 times. Now sew back to the starting point. Now, all we have to do now, take the other part, place it in like so, on both holes. Decide how much you want this to stick out, and give it a stitch. Now, since we're going to finish this like so, we are going to tuck this part inside like so and do a box shape stitch.
Alright, next thing, finishing touches. We don't want this to be like this, so we're going to sew that with denser stitch. Sew it a few times. Exactly same thing. Last thing we want to do is sew a logo. It's going to go here. There's another thing we need to do is sew the straps here. Maybe few straps just to for purposes of holding it with a carabiner, holding it by your leg when you're working or whatnot. I'll go ahead and mark a 7 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, now we want to add a maybe this much. Let's measure that. That's a almost double, so 14 centimeters 5 times. Let's mark that. Starting point 14, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have marked our webbing. that's done. Alright everyone, if you liked what you've seen here, comment below and let me know, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Also, I made a Patreon account, so you can go and support me there if you like what I'm doing. I hope you learned something from me today and you keep learning. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next tutorial.